You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
I come to you this episode with no football story, which is, I know you're oh my days. So I say no football story, but I'm literally watching football right now. It's Man United v a Spanish team called Sevilla. But it's not a final. This game could finish 0-0. I can't guarantee there's going to be lots of action, lots of penalties or anything like that. Before we dive into some more draft content, next Friday, don't know what the date is because I just know it's next Friday. Oh no, the 21st. The 21st of April, we are going live once again. So turn on notifications, subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And it's going to be an interactive one, you could say. We're going to do a live mock draft. So those in the comments, you could be part of the GTD war room. We're going to look at Dolphins picks, make them, trades, all that kind of stuff. So turn on notifications, GTD live once again. But Mr. Charlie, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Almost forgot the intro last episode. I figured I'd get it out of the way this time early. Got a guest on the show today, Kadeem. And you did mention we were going live next Friday. What time are we going live? You didn't mention what time we're going live.
11 p.m. UK time. Don't know what it is in Eastern or anything like that. I just know it's 11 p.m. UK time.
Bro,
Charlie, what's that?
I'm about to say you just gonna leave our viewers in America hanging?
Not at all. I was gonna say, Charlie, for the American listeners, you can tell them what time they need to tune in, depending on what state they're in or what time zone they're in. I never understand it.
Hello, you said 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock, yeah.
Let me use my fingers.
6, 11, 23.
We didn't go at 11 o'clock last time, Kadeem.
We did. I thought it was 11 p.m. The first time we went at 10 p.m.
Hey, see, y'all getting a behind the scenes of how it happens when we try to make time, when we try to do the time zone thing, and now we're trying to do it live on air. Well, not live, but we're trying to do it on air. Listen, and Siri just picked up something, and now she's talking to me on my laptop. This is bad. You're probably gonna hear her say everything I'm mentioning. Hey, Siri, relax. Hold on. I gotta close this. This is bad. Hey, but listen, let's get to our guest, man. We got Charlie Wilson, draft specialist, all the way from across the pond. What's up, man? It's two Charlies on the show, bro. What's going on, man?
Two Charlies on the show, man. I'm happy to be back. Happy to speak to you guys about the draft. Very exciting time of the year for me, man. Some of you guys know I'm a Seahawks fan. Big draft for my team as well. And a big draft for the Dolphins as well, Even though you've not got your first round pick, it's always a chance to improve the team. And I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it.
Did you say Philadelphia?
Me? No, Seahawks.
No, I thought you said it's a big draft for Philadelphia.
No, the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins.
Oh, the Dolphins. Like, there's that accent thick, bro. I like, what's going on here? Oh, the accent is real thick, man. Charlie Wilson in the building. Hey, ladies, how you doing? Yeah.
My name is Charlie. Last name Wilson.
For sure, bro.
Very quickly, I think when me and Charlie started working together, one of the first things I said to him was, have you ever picked up a woman with that line? Because it's to me, I'll be doing it all the time. And they'll be like, so what's that? I'm like, how can you not know? Like, that's an immediate, if you don't know, end of.
You know what it is? I'm from Northern England. Girls don't know Charlie Wilson, the American singer, so I just pretend it's not a real song and I made it up. I've done that more than once, you know what I mean?
Hey, so we talking draft, NFL draft. Hey, Kadeem, if you could get the Touche's 24 pulled up from 2022, bro. My bad. This a curveball. This is audible. We call it. We switching plays at the line. You know
You
what I'm
couldn't
saying?
tell me this beforehand.
I
Like,
didn't know beforehand.
How do you not know?
That's why it's called an audible. You got to read the defense and see what they're giving you, and then you call up, you change up the play.
But it's not in the play sheet. It's not like we discussed it beforehand. But you know, in the run through, you just gone. Oh, by the way, that play we ran 7 years ago. Do you remember it? Can you find it?
It's a play we ran in practice. That's what I'm just saying. So we ran it in practice before, and now we're running it in a game. That's all I'm saying. So Charlie, bro, hey, you came to South Florida recently, no?
I was in Miami 2 weeks ago for the first time. Yeah, I covered the baseball World Cup final, USA Japan. My first time in Miami. It was a great city, man. I loved being there. I nearly got arrested, which was not fun.
I got the real Miami experience then.
Yeah, I got a train from Jupiter, Florida, to Miami.
Yeah,
and I got the wrong ticket. And apparently, like that's bad in Florida. Like I got a warning to be arrested. I was like, God damn. But yeah, luckily I got away with it, and I'm back in the UK. But yeah.
Dang, so all I gotta do is put on the UK accent to get out of trouble.
That's it, man. I said, listen, I'm a tourist, and let me go.
That's it. That's it, mate. Hey, let me go, mate. You know what I'm saying? But we got Touche's 24 pulled up, right? We about to pull it up. Charlie, bro, your Seahawks just purged my whole list, bro. Like, just took all the players off my list and said, you know what? We know this dude named Charlie Touche in South Florida, and he knows how to pick his players. And you guys ended up with multiple players from my Touche's 24 list, including Abraham Lucas, including Kenneth Walker III, and then you guys had a first round pick in Charles Cross?
Yep. And also Boye Mafe is on your list as well.
Boye Mafe, I was about to say Chris Cross. But yeah, Cross, Boye Mafe, Kenneth Walker III, Abraham Lucas, bro. I loved your draft last year. Who are the players in the draft coming up that you feel like are underrated, but the listeners should pay attention to them? And maybe we can see if they make it to Touche's 24.
Okay, so what I'll say off the bat is this is the worst draft class that I've ever seen. I've covered the draft kind of extensively for the last 9 years. This is by far the worst, and it's not really close. I think it's a great year not to have a first-round draft pick just because there's no blue-chip talent. There's players that I would draft 20 overall, but I would feel okay drafting 80th and vice versa just because there's not a lot of standout guys. So when you ask me sleepers, there's a lot. But some of these sleepers might go in the first round for all I know just because there's no depth. If you're talking about real sleepers who maybe haven't been mentioned too much, the one that comes to my mind straight away is Bryce Ford Wheaton, wide receiver from West Virginia. He is basically the same player as Quentin Johnston, but had a bad quarterback. He's a big wide receiver that's going to break tackles, going to make plays. He's a player I would draft him second round, and I've seen him undrafted. So he's one that stands out for me.
So you seen him go undrafted in mocks, and
like I've seen 7-round draft picks, and I've not seen his name mentioned.
Bro, this is that drive. I think you just hit it on the head. This might be the driver. It's okay not to have it first because you could probably find a guy you're looking for early in the second or mid-second. I like it.
So I remember, obviously, the Dolphins traded away your first-round pick for Bradley Chubb, and I think that was quite maligned at the time. And maybe people now thinking, that was a mistake. That's not a mistake. This draft, you're not going to find a Bradley Chubb. You're not going to find anywhere close to a Bradley Chubb. It's just not very good. It's just not. I think there are 2 players in this draft that I feel good about in the top 5, and the rest, besides the quarterbacks, and the rest, you're throwing darts, man. You're guessing. To mention more sleepers, I think there's a lot of offensive linemen that I like. Andrew Voorhees, who's sadly injured, Jackson Kirkland, Chandler Zavara, Cody Mauch, some good centers as well. But yeah, man, it's a really tough draft to evaluate. It really is.
What's you got, Kadeem?
We had Owain Jones from 99 Yards 2 episodes ago, and he said something similar that there will be a lot of players drafted in the first round who aren't necessarily first round talent. But he also kind of said that the depth is there in certain positions. Are you looking at any positions going, do you know what? If you've got a third or fourth round pick, you actually might be able to get a starter because of, there's say 10 cornerbacks projected to go beforehand, but you know what? The 11th can maybe not start day one, but by the end of his first season, you're going, you know what? Yeah, we've got to do for down the line.
Yeah, I think cornerback is the one where it's just stacked, and there's guys where there's a lot of guys who are just so similar, and like they've got the traits, but they've not really had the production, or vice versa. That's one position where I would think I feel okay drafting this guy in the first. Well, I don't feel like it, but you might have to because you've got to draft someone, right? But these are players who usually would go third or fourth round, who could be a good player, but you just don't feel good about. I think cornerback is one position which is the deepest, to answer your question, Kadeem. But yeah, there's a lot of dart throws, I think, by a lot of teams where we're not going to feel great about many of these players. I think certain teams might not have certain players on their board because there's just so many questions about all of them. It's going to be real interesting, man. And you see these mock drafts everywhere, and they're just all over the place just because no one has there's no consensus of who's the best where. And so people will look at mine right now and see Tyree Wilson in the second round. It's come out recently that he's going to go second overall to Houston. I just can't understand things like that personally. He's a big guy who uses his long arms. He has no pass rush moves whatsoever. But I mean, it's that bad of a draft that they're just like, let's bank on this guy's traits. So yeah.
So tell us what we're looking at here, Kadeem.
This is Charlie Wilson's draft board. So if anything, Charlie, so for those not watching on YouTube, you've got draft round 1, 2, 3, and day 3 flyers, and then it's separated by edge, DE, big end, DT, nose tackle, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. So Charlie, if you want to walk us through what we're looking at as my internet starts messing up.
Yeah, so like you see, I've only got 7 players in my first round on defense, and even some of them like Christian Gonzalez, I don't feel great about. I keep saying it's not a deep draft, but I think my draft board here just shows. I think there's a lot of guys in the second with talent that you can bank on. Guys like Joey Porter, the cornerback, Deontay Banks, really quick, good press man coverage corners. But like I say, the talent in the top end just not there. For example, right, in 2021, you had guys like Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, Patrick Surtain. They would all go first overall in this draft. I think that's how poor it is. And then the day 3 flyers you see at the bottom are just the guys who I think will go from round 4 to 7. And at that point, you just, let's see what this guy's got. All showing flashes, but none that excite me personally.
Bro, for a draft to be so, I don't know, for a draft that's not that good this year, right? And you have teams saying, you know what, I think we're just going to trade back, accumulate picks or whatever this, trading back might be the thing. My guy wasn't there. You might see a lot of trades going the other way this year. I wonder, and it has just dawned on me while I sat here and heard you talk. I wonder if this is a byproduct of COVID. The COVID seasons where college was, and the NFL was trying to figure it out. I wonder if this is that byproduct. Like now you got this class coming out and these guys haven't had as much football, or it was a different type of football and not enough training or not enough weight room. What's that sound like to you, Charlie?
Definitely. I think that's absolutely a factor. And I think another factor to go on is obviously the nil deals now, where some of these college players, they're getting more money to stay in college than they were in the league. That, if they can get $5 million a year to play in college for another year and potentially boost their draft stock to next year, which you've seen a number of guys do. That's another factor as well. I think there are a myriad of factors like the COVID years where some guys have played, maybe 14 games in their college career and they're just not ready. You see that a lot with offensive linemen, right? Defensive linemen too, where they come into the NFL and they're just not ready. Quinnen Williams from the Jets, for the first 3 years, he looked bang average defensive lineman. Year 4,
hold on. He looked what?
He looked average.
Hold on,
Bang
did you say? Did
No,
you say
no.
bang average?
Bang average, yeah. See, again, it's a UK thing. Someone's bang average.
Charlie?
So I never heard bang average. I've heard bang out of order. Oh, you bang out of order.
We say that too.
Hold on. So where's the bang come from? Like it, just to emphasize?
Just to make, just like he's not just average, he's bang average. You know what I mean?
So what you mentioned was you mentioned the NIL deals, and what an NIL is a name, image, and likeness deal that college players can now receive. Basically, you can receive. I would say a couple years ago. I don't know how many years it's been. Like 2 months, maybe. A couple years ago, you weren't able to take. You couldn't even get an extra lunch in college. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't. It was a whole thing going on. Now you can sell your jersey, you can sell your name, image, and likeness, and get paid, which I think is the right thing to do because you have people in college that have families, they have kids, they have children, they're parents. You know what I'm saying? And now if you look on the female side of things, you have mostly female basketball players like saying, why would I go to the WNBA when I can make this money here in college? So in a way, this is an encouraging thing to stay in college, stay in school, and as long as you could afford to pay for whatever your responsibilities are. Kadeem used to be like, oh, nah, stay in college. I'm like, bro, if they're not getting paid, they need to come out. So now they're getting paid. So I kind of like it. Was that the only defense? Was that only defense, or is there an offensive big board as well?
Offensive, yeah.
Hey, I like it.
Now we're there, but again, I knew that was coming because I saw the play sheet. I knew it was coming next. So, yeah, just saying.
So I think
Hold up, Charlie. Kadeem, I know you ain't talking about the play sheet. Well, you ain't even tell me we had Charlie's big board.
Charlie, did you not say in the group that you're going to send me your big board?
I did, to be fair, Charlie, mate. I did say I was going to
Hold up.
I say. So what? Sorry?
All right. I'm gonna let.
I'm sorry, man.
No. I actually did see it in the group, but I blew it because I forgot that you did say that. I had so many things going on. Might be because it's Kadeem, but whatever. Let's go, Charlie. What you got?
Yeah, so everyone wants to talk about quarterbacks, right? That's a big thing. I know for Dolphins fans, you've got 2 of your good. For me, I love all 4 of the quarterbacks. I think all 4 could be legit special. I think what people weirdly forget sometimes when you're looking at prospects is you're not looking at what they've done, right? You're looking at what they could do. And for me, Anthony Richardson could be the best quarterback in the NFL. He runs a 4.4 flat. He's 250. He's got a cannon of a right arm. He could be, for me, he's best player in the draft. He's just so special. Bryce Young is every bit as Tua. It's just he's smaller and he's real slight. That worries me. Will Levis, I love personally. His 2021 tape was just incredible. If Will Levis went off his 2021 tape, he'd be drafted first overall. He struggled last year because he lost a few players. And CJ Stroud, the biggest question for him was his lack of mobility to play out off schedule. And he answered all those questions in the last game against Georgia when he just played a tremendous game. But it's only a 1-game sample size, so can you go off that? Just to have one more thing on the offense before I let you guys back in. Bijan Robinson is the best running back that I've ever seen in college. He's incredible. He'll probably go very early and rightly so. And if you're a fantasy guy, draft him early because he's going to be special.
I'm not gonna lie. We can keep this big board up. This is your swan song if you hit on this. I ain't gonna lie, Charlie. 6, 7 years from now, we look back, I'm starting to keep receipts for myself. Charlie Touche's 24, and that way I could show people like, bro, I said this was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a good look. Matter of fact, we're gonna tip the hand a little bit. This season is the 4th season of Touche's 24, and now we're gonna put like a little basically a receipt episode of the previous Touche's 24 and see who I hit on, see who I missed on, right? But if you hit with some of these boys right here, I ain't gonna lie, because I disagree with a couple of them. If you hit here, bro, I'm like, yo, you did that. And you need the fact that we have receipts is a good thing, bro. Tell me about Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is a running back. Big boy, built different. You know how they say, oh, he different? He's built different. Tell me how you feel about him. Zach Charbonnet, you have him here on your big boy as a second rounder. I can see that. He's not going to go before Gibbs. He's not going to go before Robinson. And second round sounds plausible, but you just never know what the boy's going to do. So tell us about Zach Charbonnet.
I love him. He's third down back. He catch the ball. He's a bell cow. You can give it to him 20 times a game, no problem at all. Runs through tackles. Graded brilliantly in his last 2 years in college. He's just one of those players. Who can I comp him to? A bit like Alvin Kamara in a sense, where he can just do it all. He really can. I love him. But the thing is, with running backs, like last year, Charlie, you were big on Kenneth Walker, and so was I. I thought he was one of the top players in the draft. He went 40th overall.
Crazy.
Teams just don't rate running backs in the draft, and I personally don't understand why. If you can get a player of that caliber like Kenneth Walker, like Breece Hall, who we saw last year, like Zach Charbonnet, who looks like he's going to be another one of those guys, I'll draft him in the late first round, no problem. I mean, him and Jahmyr Gibbs are both excellent prospects to me. I'll draft them in the late first round, but they are running backs. At the same time, I know I've just been hypocritical here, but I do understand because it does say the history does say after 4 years they do get hurt. But for me, it's worth it. If you get a player who is that good, draft him in the late first, man.
So Miami are on the board at 51, and Jahmyr Gibbs or Roschon Johnson, they're both there. And Chris Greer decides to quiet all the Miami fans that say he doesn't value running backs and takes one of them. Give me a quick breakdown of both of them, and then who you think would suit this Miami scheme better.
The one who suits Miami is Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think it's that close. Mike McDaniel loves these outside zone speed running backs, like your Jeff Wilson, like your the other 49ers guy, Raheem Mostert. Jahmyr Gibbs is very similar. He's one of those guys where you give him the ball and he might just take it to the house because he's got that home run ability. And not only on the ground, but in the air as well. He's brilliant running routes. He's just a special talent. I would take him without question over Roschon Johnson. But I love Johnson too. But Gibbs is just a special talent.
So very quickly, what is it about Johnson that you do love or you do like? Sorry,
just the ability to break tackles. He's not too dissimilar to Bijan Robinson, really, where he can play every down. Good pass catcher. Plays really low to the ground. Love the way he runs. He's not going to run out of bounds. He's going to run through you. I just love his overall game. There's no real worry I have about his game. It's just, is he special? Probably not. But he's going to be a 8-year running back, no problem.
So Roschon Johnson, we mentioned on a previous episode, is Bijan Robinson's backup in the University of Texas. And I want to say 80% of the draft experts have Bijan Robinson as basically the best player in the draft, like the most lock in the draft. So if you were his backup, that kind of puts you in a good conversation. Like, hey, I was back up to the best person in the draft. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you have Roschon Johnson getting acknowledged here on this podcast. He's not getting that much acknowledgement on mainstream media, but maybe he cracks Touche's 24. We'll find out, right? I haven't put it out yet. We Touche's 24 episode coming out very soon. Very, very soon. Hold on. I wasn't done with the list, Kadeem. Oh, this is a pretty good list. You know what I'm saying? This is a pretty good draft board. So Zach Evans just visited the Miami Dolphins, or the Miami Dolphins just visited Zach Evans, I should say, or interviewed, something like that. On the offensive side of the ball, while we still have your big board up before Kadeem runs off on the plug, who is your favorite player on the offensive side of the ball in this draft, regardless of which round, regardless of, and outside of Bijan Robinson, and outside of the quarterbacks? Offensive side of the ball, this is your big board. Give me your favorite player, regardless of round, even if the Dolphins don't have a chance at him. Who's your favorite player?
My favorite player, I mean, not to be bored. I mean, is it boring? Yeah, you know what? I'll say it. John Michael Smith, the center. He's just one of those guys where he's just going to do his job and do it perfectly. He's going to maul you. He's just, he moves well. He plays with such good pad level. I think he's going to be a good player for a long, long time. He's a leader. His teammates love him. He speaks well. I love watching this game, man. I love watching offensive linemen beat people up and just mean guys. You know what I mean? They're fun to watch. A lot of people have him in the second round. For me, he's a first round lock. But if you're talking about a fun like player, I think it's Smith and Jigba at Ohio State.
Hey, don't take my guy. What's going on here? No, hey, go ahead. I'll let you talk about it.
You know what it is? I mean, what do you love as a wide receiver? Do you love the big guys, the big outside, I'm going to moss you and just jump over you? Or do you like the smooth, crisp, route runners like Smith and Jigba? For me, that's what I like. And I just love his ability to get open. He's not quick. He's not fast. His feet are just magical, man. He's like a dancer out there. I love his game.
So I will say this, and here's a little spoiler alert. Devon Achane is going to make Touche's 24. I love Devon Achane. He's a running back from Texas A&M. Dude is one of those players where if you were picking a team, like in Sandlot football, he would go first. Like, oh, I got Achane. You know what I'm saying? And then you're most likely going to win that game. And then that followed him in the high school and in the college. And dude is just, he's a solid running back. But Jackson Smith and Jigba is my favorite player in the entire draft. Dolphins will not have a chance to get him. He's a receiver out of Ohio State. Jackson Smith and Jigba is like a Cadillac. If we were going to compare him to a car, like, yo, this is luxury. It's smooth. It's like, oh, I didn't know it was this nice. And that's exactly what Jackson Smith and Jigba is. So it's funny that we aligned there. You can take it down now, Kadeem, since you was trying so hard to get this thing off the screen.
No, because I feel like the one, like, you know, it might just be a Charlie thing where you guys just play like buddy, and that's all good. But you said you disagree with some of these players and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But you haven't said who. So I'm gonna sit back. Actually, if I disappear, I'm gonna get some Haribo, some popcorn. Charlie, tell Mr. Wilson who you disagree with and go at it. And I'll just sit here and enjoy myself.
I see what you did there. You said, Charlie, tell Mr. Wilson so you can make a distinction of which Charlie you talk to. I like that's pretty good, Kadeem.
Don't try and get in between me and Charlie Wilson. Like, but I see what you.
So you want me? You want us to go at it, but you want to be in the safe zone, Switzerland.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look at this guy. Hey, we're not gonna entertain Kadeem right now, but tell me about Hendon Hooker, because it's funny, and I don't want to go too deep into Hendon Hooker because we chopped it up with a couple other people, and Hendon Hooker to me was someone you had him in the third round on your big board. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going in the third round. It just means that that's where you have him, and in a perfect scenario, if he was drafted at his value, it would be third round. But because quarterback is valued so highly, he's probably going to get bumped up, probably taken way higher than the third round, which in my opinion, he should not be taken higher than the third round, but he probably will go first, second round for whatever reason. And then some GM's going to have to pay for it later. But it is what it is. We're at gotimedolphins@gmail.com. If anybody wants my services, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? Holla at the Seahawks and see how happy they are with my Touche's 24 list, right? So Hendon Hooker, knowing Hendon Hooker, knowing where you had him on the big board and knowing he's coming off an injury, do you think there's a chance that he could end up starting somewhere?
You know what, Charlie?
And not necessarily start this year, but like within the next two seasons.
Honestly, Charlie, I am, as a Seahawks fan, let me talk about Seattle for a minute. I'm sorry, I know it's a Dolphin podcast. I am petrified. I'm very scared Seattle will draft him at 20 in the first round. Seattle love guys like this. And a lot of teams, Hendon Hooker, right, comes across his interviews as a real leader, right? A likable guy. Mm-hmm. And his tape, if you just watch his highlights, if you watch Hendon Hooker highlights, you're like, wow, look at that throw. He threw 70 yards to that guy who was wide open. But when you watch his highlights, you'll hear those two words a lot, wide open, because that Tennessee offense is an absolute joke. Hendon Hooker knows where he's thrown the ball to before he's even walked out on the field, because that offense will just create big plays every single time. And Hendon Hooker has some nice throws on tape, but he's got a lot of throws where his first read is off and it's awful. And it's really bad. And not only that, he's 25 years old. He's the same age as Sam Darnold, who's been in the league for 6 years. He's got an ACL. He's an older quarterback. He's in a gimmick offense. I would, in the third round, sure, why not? Let's try. Let's see what we can do. I'm quite afraid he'll go first round to a team like Seattle, maybe Baltimore if they move Lamar Jackson. I can see him starting after his injury, maybe year one if he's back, Charlie, and that's quite a. I think he'll get shown up if that happens.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. When the Dolphins had 2 third-round picks, and we just traded one for somebody, who did we trade that third-round pick for?
Jalen Ramsey.
Hey, that's some pretty good work. Chris Greer ended up with a Jalen Ramsey out of a third-round pick. Well, we had 2 third-round picks, and I was just sure Hendon Hooker was not going to creep up the way he's creeping up right now, because people will be rational and say, nah, we shouldn't take Hendon Hooker because it's not like he threads the needle. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's tight window Tua where he's throwing them in the tight windows. He has all of his highlights almost are wide open. Like, yo, he has the arm. He can throw the ball 75 yards, so it appears. You know what I'm saying? And these are good-looking balls. Like, oh, that's a good ball, and it's like 70 yards in the air, like some Josh Allen stuff, right? So that's attractive for sure. Chicks love the long ball, right? My thing is, for the Dolphins, I'm like, yo, we have Tua. We don't really have a backup. We got Mike White now, which is a solid backup, but we thought Jacoby Brissett was a solid backup, would be, but that didn't pan out. We thought Teddy Two Gloves would be a solid backup, and we probably felt like we could have got better out of Teddy now. And now we have Mike White. My thing was, we're at a place with Tua where I believe Tua is the guy. And everyone's going to hit you with a caveat if he's healthy, right? Who do you have to back up Tua? And for my dollar, right, for y'all pound, I feel like we can go young now. This guy, Kadeem picks up a pound for everybody listening to the audio version. You guys have, so we're gonna put this on pause for a second. So y'all got you guys have the pound, right? You have a coin-based pound, right? Yeah. And don't you have a bill that's a pound as well?
No, we have our smallest bill is £5. All
right, so y'all have a pound. You have what else? What kind of coins y'all have? What other coins you have? You have a pound. Which is a dollar. So for everyone listening, a dollar is a pound. A US dollar is a pound, right? So now you have a pound. You have £2. What other coins you have?
So we have 2 pennies. This is a 2p coin.
Hold on. Isn't it pence? 2 pence.
2 pence.
Pence, yeah, but pennies.
Right, pence.
Yeah.
All right. So pence. So hold on. So basically, all right. So we're gonna translate. So y'all have a 2 pence, right?
So the smallest is 1. So you have
1 pence.
1 pence, yeah. 1 pence coin.
Yeah.
2 pence coin.
So let's stop there. So America, we don't have 2 pennies. We have a 1 penny coin, and then we have a nickel, which is 5 pennies.
I've got 1 cent right here.
There we go. And I've got 5 pennies right here.
Oh no, that's a cent. Yeah,
This
that's
is a
not.
cent.
That's
This
not.
is an American
Yeah. Okay, I see you.
So I've got a 5p coin right here. After 5, it's 10, a 10p coin.
Hold on. We talking about pence, 5 pence and 10 pence.
Yeah.
Okay.
After 10, there's 20, but I don't have any 20s around at the moment.
For everyone listening, pence and cents is the same thing. So they have a 20-cent coin. We have a 25-cent coin. We don't have a 2-cent coin. But then you said the smallest bill is £5.
Yeah.
So a $5 bill in American, it's like but y'all don't have a dollar. Y'all have a pound as a coin. What comes after 5?
What in terms of
bills?
10. I've got no 10s on me either.
All right. I was just trying to see where we differed. So look, Hendon Hooker, right?
Yeah.
For my dollar, I felt like where the Miami Dolphins are, you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and this Ferrari offense where if your quarterback can get the ball down the field, you're still good. Hey, bomb it up to Tyreek Hill, Hendon Hooker. This is what you were doing all day in Tennessee anyway. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was interested in Hendon Hooker if we had 2 third-round picks and if he was still in the 3rd round. These boys are need to get drug tested for everybody who's trying to take Hendon Hooker in the 1st round. That's all I'm trying to say. But that's all I got. What you got for us, Kadeem?
Another guy on your board, and you have him as a day 3 flyer, Stetson Bennett. So again, Miami are on the board in the 6th round. Stetson Bennett is there. Is he someone Miami should pick up? What are his highlights, his flaws, and is he given his age, 25, given he's led Georgia to two national championships, but there's some at least question marks around some of his off the field activities. Is Stetson Bennett a long-term or even a starter in the NFL, or is he a essentially career backup? But given his age, you bring him in knowing full well that his 2nd contract, you might extend him, but he's not going to be earning the big bucks.
You know what it is? Last year, you watch Red Zone, obviously, and you see these quarterbacks come on the field like Skylar Thompson, Anthony Brown.
Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy was good. I mean,
I didn't know we was talking about. Okay.
I mean, these quarterbacks who are just terrible, right?
Okay. Hold on. Skylar Thompson was terrible?
Nah, okay, that's unfair. Skylar Thompson was okay.
I know it's okay to say it was terrible because I don't think Skylar Thompson is the backup quarterback for the Dolphins. Kadeem does, however. You know what I'm saying?
Skylar Thompson, he was better than I thought he would be. He really was.
He wasn't Brock Purdy though.
No, Brock Purdy. I mean, I can't believe how well he played.
All right, listen, you're the draft guy. Hold on. You're right. You're the draft guy. Should the Dolphins draft a backup quarterback?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay, that's all I needed. Because Kadeem here think we locked in on Skylar Thompson, which he's cool, but he's not the future backup.
If I'm at NFL teams, just go on, Kadeem.
There's a difference between having a backup this year and backup for the next 10 years. I don't think I've ever said Skylar Thompson is a backup for the next 10 years, but where Miami are right now, trying to win a Super Bowl, realistically, if you have 4 picks, are you picking a quarterback with any of those 4 picks? Me personally, no, because not only are they behind Tua, they're behind Mike White and Skylar Thompson. So you essentially drafting a quarterback to have 4 quarterbacks in camp when you can go and find someone. I'm not saying Matt Ryan, but I know he's come up on his podcast before. You can pick up a quarterback off the street who's better than any quarterback you draft in the 6th and 7th round. So why am I drafting a quarterback in 6th or 7th round? I don't see the point in it.
Hold on. So Kadeem, we just drafted Skylar Thompson in the 6th or 7th round. So my point is you keep drafting in the 6th or 7th round because it's like playing a scratch off and you could win $1 million.
Yeah.
It's low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But is that quarterback this year going to help the Miami Dolphins?
Okay, Kadeem, who thought Brock Purdy would have helped the Niners, right?
Hey, that's your man.
No, do you know what? Where's Brock Purdy's ring?
It's
doesn't
not
have
about
one.
a ring. Oh, so now it's a ring.
The
Now
Dolphins
he
are
has
trying. No, the
now he
Dolphins
has
are
to have
trying
a
to win a
ring
ring.
for him to be him to be drafted to be credible.
The
Like,
Dolphins are trying to win a ring this year. Is a
alright.
quarterback coming to help them do that this year?
So why
Let me finish.
So why pay
Let me
Mike
finish.
White if that's the case?
Any better than somebody you can pick up off the street? Again, a Matt Ryan. I don't know if Carson Wentz has a team. Is any quarterback you're taking in the 6th or 7th round better than the guys I just named, or the guys who will be available mid-season?
I think 32 teams out of 32 would take Stetson Bennett over Matt Ryan. And I don't think.
And again, I'm not a Matt Ryan fan. I've said I wouldn't have taken him as a backup. But my overall point is, I don't see the point in drafting a quarterback in the 6th or 7th round because the Dolphins don't need, or hopefully don't need a backup quarterback. And if you get the backup quarterback, the season's probably going to be done, unless you can. Sorry, go on, Charlie.
The Dolphins don't need a backup quarterback, but they do need cap space. So that cap space that's going to Mike White could go to a rookie backup quarterback instead of Mike White, and now you can use that cap space for another position. It's chestnut checkers.
What's Mike White earning this year?
Like $4 million.
$4 million, but he signed a 2 year.
Yeah, and with incentives, so it could get up to 8, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's like, what's his base salary? And if you cut, so again, if you now cut Mike White, does that not impact your cap?
No one said nothing about cutting him. If you draft a 6th-round quarterback and keep him on the practice squad or have him as the 3rd quarterback, like we just did with Scottie Thompson, we don't cut Mike White.
So then why are we picking up the guy? So you just said to say cap space. That's what you said, to say cap space.
Yeah, no. So yeah, you gotta look out for the future, Kadeem. So
I'm talking this year. Why are you taking guys this year?
You could do 2 things at the same time. So if you draft Stetson Bennett in the 6th round, well, I'm just throwing a name out there. If you draft Stetson Bennett in the 6th round, you bring him in, and turns out, oh, I like Stetson Bennett more than I like Mike White, but we already paid Mike White. So what you do is what we just did with Scottie Thompson. You have Stetson Bennett as the 3rd quarterback on the roster. So now next year, when we let Mike White walk, Stetson Bennett is now the backup quarterback. Instead of drafting a backup quarterback next year in the 6th round that you're not likely to hit on. You're not likely to hit on these guys.
How does any of that help Miami this year win a ring?
No one. You have to, but you still have to draft. You have to draft. Every year there's a draft. Every year.
Okay, so this year, 6th round year, there's a kicker and Stetson Bennett. Who are you taking? Charlie Wilson?
It's Stetson Bennett, and it's not close.
Over a kicker who could legit help Miami this year.
You don't need a backup quarterback until you need one, right? If Tua gets injured, which he did 3 times last year, you might as well take a swing on someone who can walk in and help you win a Super Bowl. And we saw last year that Brock Purdy was capable of taking the Niners all the way. He did lose in the championship game, fair enough. But listen, and obviously, Stetson Bennett most likely will not be Brock Purdy and will not be a long-term or even viable starter, right? But he could be. And that payoff is huge compared to, let's say, a backup tackle or a backup guard or a kicker, who you can find off the street, by the way. Kickers are a lot easier to find than backup quarterbacks off the street.
Kadeem, I'm taking Stetson Bennett if I as opposed to this kicker who might go undrafted and I could bring him in anyway. So it's like,
Stetson Bennett might go undrafted. I'm talking in this scenario, both players are on the board. Like, you know what?
Both players on the board. Go ahead.
Both players on the board, and it's under the assumption by the time you next pick, they're not going to be there no more. For someone who's like Josh Sanders is not over the line, but we kind of
Jason Sanders,
and we kind of said you bring in a kicker. It's like, yo, this kicker might legit be able to beat out Sanders, and we've got a kicker for the next how long? Or do we take a quarterback who we hope we never have to see, and if we see, then yeah, you know what, it's going to be helpful, but the kicker can start day 1. Stetson Bennett isn't starting day 1. Unless Tua goes down injured.
I'm going to use your scenario, and I'm still going to double down on the backup quarterback, because if you draft the kicker, you're going to eat dead cap for letting go of Jason Sanders. This is your scenario, so you're still operating a franchise. As a GM, I have to draft for today and tomorrow, this year and next year. So while I have the ability, a player in a backup quarterback that I like. We don't have to keep saying Stetson Bennett, just a backup quarterback that looks decent. Like, I'm not trying to eat dead cap for a kicker who should be pretty good in Jason Sanders when I can have this backup quarterback that I had low risk in the 6th, 7th round come in and beat out Mike White, Skylar Thompson, and whoever else other quarterback there is. This to me, I like it, bro. Like, I'm a matter of fact, I might draft a quarterback in the 6th, 7th round every single year and see what happens. And
again, so very quick, Charlie, I have no issue with that when you've got at least seven picks. When you've got 7 picks and you get to 6th or 7th round, take a quarterback. I really couldn't care less. When you've got 4 picks and you're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, in my opinion, taking a quarterback is a luxury you don't have, especially with the holes and depth Miami still need to win a Super Bowl this year.
You said holes and depth to win a Super Bowl this year, which I agree. But what's the last pick that we drafted in the 6th, 7th round that played in the same season we drafted him? Outside of a quarterback, because that favors my argument.
The payoff of 6, 7 rounders actually playing is extremely low and succeeding extremely low. You usually get practice squad guys, special teamers. Players kickers. Yeah, you can get one, but
right. And if I remember correctly, I think his name was Cameron Good. Wasn't that some dude we drafted last year from UCLA?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Cameron Good. I think his name was Cameron. I'm pretty sure his last name was Good. It was Goode, right?
Yeah.
So what's he doing? You know what I'm saying?
So to answer your question, 2020 we took Blake Ferguson, the long snapper, in the 6th round. He's still there. I believe Malcolm.
No, not still there. That was not.
Okay. But also played his rookie year. Blake Ferguson.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Now that's fair. Like, he played the same season.
I also believe Malcolm Perry and Malcolm Perry is right. Yeah.
The year we won 5 games.
What the question you asked me?
I'm just saying that was the year we won 5 games.
What the question you asked me?
The question is, who was the last player that we drafted in the 6th or 7th round that played in the same season that we drafted him in that draft? I just gave you 2, and now we're adding caveats. So that's 2. No, that's fair. That's fair. Go ahead. Cool. You got any more?
I'm now moving on to 2021. 6th or 7th round. We're only two 7th round picks that year. Larnell Coleman and Jared Dokes. Dokes didn't see a single snap. I believe Coleman might have. Yeah, Coleman played 1 game. And that is it.
All right. Go ahead, Charlie. You about to say something?
Yeah, I think I understand your point, Kadeem. I do. Like, you've only got 4 draft picks. Each pick you need to use to improve the chances of winning this year, because Miami rightly will be one of the Super Bowl favorites. If you're drafting to fill a need in the 6th round, you're doing something wrong.
Bingo.
At that point, you're just taking swings, and the biggest payoff by far is at quarterback. If you're like I said, you can't fill needs in the 6th round because it's just such a low percentage chance.
Or even running back. If you said go running back in the 6th or 7th round, I'm okay with that too. But I'm not taking. All right. I mean, we went too long on this. It's cool. And it's just opinionated. It's also opinionated, but I do think there's more data backing up my side than trying to fill a need in the 6th or 7th round. That's all I'm saying.
To be fair, the best example would be the guy we took in the 7th round last year, and Skylar Thompson,
which is the quarterback. Which is why I would say take another quarterback every single year. I'm taking a quarterback every year in the 6th or 7th round, because then if one of them are successful, we can move them for another piece.
100%. And again, like I said, if the Dolphins manage to leave the draft with 6 or 7 picks and one of those is a quarterback, I'll be like, you know what, cool, fair enough. For me right now, for my £1, if you've got 4 picks, I'm not spending one on a quarterback. I just don't see the point personally. But I understand where both of you are coming from.
Hey, Charlie, bro. I feel like when we have conversations like this, it's because we're all good. Like, we're all locked in, all solid. You feel me? Come back after the draft. You got to chop it up with us after the draft. You know what I'm saying?
I'd
To
love
see
to,
how
man.
we did, and hopefully the Seahawks don't purge my Touche's 24 list. That's kind of creepy.
I can't wait to see the 24 list, man. I'm hoping you get more than 50% right this year. I want 50% of them to be hits. I think
50,
that's.
You know what? We'll go. We're about to go into bonus time. We'll pull up the list again and see how many can constitute as a hit. Because I think I did better than 50 last year. I think. But look, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, so Twitter, Charlie Reach PLC. I think since I've last been on this podcast, I've got a new job where I'm now covering NFL. So I'm doing this for a living, which is great. I'm loving doing it. And all my content is draft at the minute. So yeah, on Twitter, Charlie Reach PLC. That's where I am.
Hey, we appreciate you, bro. Y'all know what time it is. Come on over to bonus time. We're going to argue some more. Y'all stay positive, test negative for Kadeem Simmons, and Charlie from Reach PLC. Charlie Wilson from Reach PLC. I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time.
Been fumbling the ball a little bit, boy.
It's fine. That's why football is a team sport. It's not like in tennis where you mess up, you've only got yourself to blame. No one can back you up. Essentially, we're on the 1 yard line, about to go over, and you've hit the linebacker, but you've got your lineman pushing you over. You're gonna get over there, score the touchdown. You're gonna get the credit. It's like, oh yeah, I scored a touchdown. really, the lineman done all the hard work, but it is what it is.
But was it not? So it wasn't when who fumbled the ball against the Dolphins? Was it and the Ravens? Was it Lamar Jackson fumbled on the one?
Yeah.
Was it Lamar? Dang, boy, that's that hurt right there, boy. Y'all remember when Kenyon Drake fumbled on the 1 yard line and to put the game away, and then the game went into overtime. We were on the 1 yard line about to score a touchdown in the game, and Kenyon Drake fumbled, and the game ended up going into overtime. And then the defense bailed him out, and he was crying with a towel over his head. I'll never forget that.
A few things. If you're not watching on YouTube, I will be honest. Charlie's fit today with the kind of camo green Dolphins top and the Turtles hat. Listen, salute to that. It's an elite fit. I'll give you that. I will give credit where credit is due. Stop. Okay. Too far. Two, I feel like the Charlies banded up against me in more than one ways. So let me finish. Charlie Touche said he disagreed with Charlie Wilson's draft board. I didn't call him out on anything. Nothing at all. There was no, oh, by the way, have you got this? There was none of that. I say one opinion. Both Charlies. 2v1. It was like a handicap match. The Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker, against Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's what it felt like. So
you know what, Kadeem? I feel bad. I watch your podcast quite a lot, and most of the time I agree with everything you say. And when I come on, and I agree with none of it what you say.
That's bro, hey, it's the CNC machine, bro. Charlie and Charlie, CNC machine. And you did it on purpose. You did it intentionally, Kadeem. You said, "Oh, I'm gonna put these two at it, and I'm gonna step back," and then it backfired on you. That's what you get.
It's fine. I think. Let me know in the comments. I think I held my own. I made my case, and you know what? This is what the war room is going to look like next week when it's a 6th round and Stetson Bennett is there, and I'm like, we're not taking him. And we're taking him, and we've got 5 minutes on the clock, and we're just arguing back and forth of whether we're taking a quarterback or not. So, listen, I know there's so much draft stuff, so much NFL stuff, but I also know you guys are MMA dudes. MMA is your thing. There's no two ways about it. And was it last week's fight between, I'm not even going to pronounce the guy's name right. Charlie, who was it?
Izzy Adesanya.
Yes. all I've seen this, and I've from the little I've seen of him, he's a petty guy. I understand that, but all I've seen this week is him retweeting every single comment of him knocking out the guy he fought. Any comment of like, yeah, you did it, retweet, comment. So I will sit back and let you discuss this, but I know it won't be an argument. So I think I'm allowed to do that. Am I not?
Hey, do your thing, Kadeem.
No, guys, you do your thing. This is Go Time MMA now. Quickly, like
Go Time MMA, man. Hey, matter of fact, what's up, Charlie, bro? When we gonna do this, bro? Go Time MMA.
Yo, man. Whenever I've been busy these last few months. Right now, I'm so free. So let's get it going, man. Let's get it going.
This guy, hey, when Leon Edwards won, when he knocked out Kamaru Usman, I like, yo, I try to pull you, Kadeem. Leon Edwards beat Kamaru Usman. He's from, we say Birmingham, for I guess y'all say Birmingham,
which is where I'm going on Friday.
So he's from Birmingham, and I hit up Charlie. I'm like, bro, we need to start a podcast today. Like today. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then he got missing on me. But I got a Leon Edwards t-shirt, bro. I cannot wait to rock it. But yeah, man, what you're saying about the Izzy fight. Izzy Adesanya fought Alex Pereira and in kickboxing twice. And he lost the first one by decision.
Yeah,
right? Controversial decision where Izzy actually won, but the judges gave it to Alex. The second kickboxing fight, Izzy got knocked out by Alex. Out of there. Boom. Yo, this is bad, right?
Big left hook.
And Alex, there's images of him bending over Izzy and yelling at him while he was down on the ground, like, what now? Yeah, take that or whatever, right? Like it was in Brazil too, right? Alex is from Brazil. So Izzy moves up and fights MMA, becomes a huge superstar, one of the best middleweights the UFC has ever seen in mixed martial arts. And whenever you can stop me when I'm wrong, Charlie. So he's taking out everyone in the top 5 to date. And he's a dude. And I ain't gonna lie, I was never an Izzy fan. I used to always bet against him, right? I ain't gonna lie to you. I always bet against Izzy. But he always took my money every single time. So Alex Pereira comes to the UFC and says, yo, I'm 2-0 against you, bro. And I chased you to the UFC. And now I beat 3 people. And now Alex is about to fight Izzy for the first time in the UFC. And Izzy wins 4 rounds. In the championship fight against his rival, but everyone who watches MMA knows there's 5 rounds in the championship fight, and Pereira knocks out Izzy. Well, stops him. He TKOs Izzy. Like the ref comes in, stop the fight, bro. Izzy, you can't take no much. But he won like 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So again, Izzy loses another time to Pereira. So it's 3-0 Alex. Izzy ain't win not one fight except this controversial kickboxing fight where he probably won on the cards, but the judges gave it to Alex. This past weekend, what Kadeem was talking about, Alex fights Izzy again for the rematch. Alex is the champion this time. And it's like, yo, imagine you have a big brother that you can't beat in anything. Nothing. You can't beat him in anything. You know what I'm saying? And he beats you every single time. So Izzy comes back, first round, he wins the first round again. This is scripted. Like, yo, he won again. Like he's it's just wild, right? How Alex has Izzy's number, but Izzy is the better fighter. Everyone knows Izzy is the better fighter. Second round comes up, Izzy plays rope-a-dope, leans up against the cage, comes out, cracks Alex, knocks him completely unconscious, and has one of the most memorable celebrations in the history of MMA. With the arrow, and then finds Alex's son in the crowd and plays dead like Alex's son did against him. Bro, I had no problem with it when I found out, like, yo, it was just get back for being petty. Like, yo, the kid taunted him. He taunted the kid. He taunted the dad. And all in all, they found each other backstage, hugged it up. Yo, you a warrior? Izzy, you a warrior? And bygones is bygones. This is the sport. What you got, Charlie?
Kadeem, you know Randy Orton, right? You know that thing where he's playing possum and he's like just waiting to get up and RKO you. Like, he's just waiting for that moment to get up and just, you know what I mean, just end it. Like 1, 2, 3. That was Izzy, right? Izzy's in the corner pretending like he's getting hit. Pereira throws a huge knee, big overhand right. Izzy just waits for his moment, comes out, huge overhand right, huge left hook. Hammer fist, which was not necessary at all. He was already out cold.
Super necessary.
Shout out to Miami. Hits him with that hammer fist, and it was just. I'm like you, Charlie. I'm not a huge Izzy fan. I'm a huge Robert Whittaker fan. He's my guy. I love Robert.
Bobby
Whittaker.
Knuckles, bro. That's my middleweight right there. And I can't wait for Bobby Knuckles to have his Izzy moment where Izzy beat Robert twice.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for Robert to fight him. And I think it's unfair that I have to be the number one contender, knocking off everybody else beneath me. So I get my third chance at this championship, but they won't give me the guy because we already fought twice. Yeah. So I'm just supposed to keep fighting these contenders for my health. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't appreciate that.
But yeah, Izzy, man, that was there's some moments. It doesn't matter what sport it is, but just that was just an incredible sporting moment. And I'm not, like I say, I'm not a huge Adesanya fan, but it was a great way to win.
I agree. Hey, if we could pull up back that Tuesday's 24 list one more time.
Before we get there, I've got two quick things. Then Tuesday's 24.
All right, so hold up. So I will say this about Izzy and Alex to end that. I bet on Izzy for the first time now. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bet on Izzy. He's gonna beat Alex, and then he lost to Alex. I'm like, so hold on. I bet against you all those times, and you win. And the first time I bet for you, you got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So then I bet on him again, and then whatever. But yeah, I was sour. I can't really rock with Izzy. Like, he's cool though, but he's not my dude. Go ahead, Kadeem.
One, UFC belts are trash. All of them are trash. Like
UFC, what? Huh? What you say?
UFC belts are trash. The look of them, the design, nah, not a fan. I come from a wrestling world where they're a bit more flamboyant and I guess more iconic. I see UFC belts, I'm like, nah, you can do better than that. You can do something. So
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like the belts. What you think, Charlie?
I mean, they're okay. I mean, I get like some of the old school WWE belts, like the Intercontinental belt, the US Championship. They were some cool belts, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like in this profession, you knock someone out, I want something cold around my shoulder. Like, I'm just saying, I think they can do better. And I know we're going to get back to Tuesday's 24, but very quickly, Charlie Wilson, we have a new segment on this show. And it's so Charlie Touche is starting to get into soccer. Like, he's seen a few things. Like, he sent me remember the Leicester Watford playoff game?
Of course, Anthony Knockout, missed penalty. Yeah.
I just got goosebumps, bro. Bro, bro. Hey, I seen that, dog. Like, no way, dog. Like, if I would have seen that in person, like in live, I would have lost my mind, bro.
And then obviously Monday, Wrexham, Notts County, Ben Foster. Like, you can't write that. So we're trying to find Charlie a football team. Charlie Wilson, who do you support, and why should Charlie Touche support that team?
So, Charlie Touche, I support a team called Scunthorpe United. Scunthorpe United have been relegated 3 times in 5 years. So you might not want to choose my team, man. I mean, like we are literally one of the worst teams in the country. So I can't really help you there. What kind of are you trying to go Premier League? Is that what you're trying to do? Or are you trying to go?
So when you say that, this is all new to me. So when you say relegated, that means they were in the Premier League and got kicked out. Like, but that means they also made it back to the Premier League, though, right?
Nah. So they've gone down 3 different leagues in 5 years.
So once upon a time they were in the Premier League, then they got demoted.
No, not
so they were never in the Premier League.
Never.
All right. So what are the leagues called? The Premier League.
We try all the time. Premier. Yeah, sorry, Charlie. Go. All yours, Charlie.
Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2.
Damn, they ain't even got names. They got numbers. That's creep. All right, so League One, League Two, and then what else?
Then National League, and then you've got like the National League North, National League South.
Oh my goodness! All right, so they were in like Championship League, and then they got relegated.
So Scunthorpe were in League. I used to cover the team in my old job, and they was in League One, and that was in 2018. And now they are 4 leagues below that in 5 years. Have been relegated 3 times.
Where's Wrexham?
Wrexham is in the same league as my team, Scunthorpe.
They was.
It was, yeah.
So they just got promoted. What if it's not called relegated? What's it called when you get promoted?
Promoted, yeah.
So where's Wrexham now? League Two?
Well, go to League Two next season, yes.
Assuming Wrexham keep winning the last few games, Wrexham will get promoted to League Two.
So you don't have to win a championship to go to the league next league?
Yes and no. The team that finishes first gets automatically promoted. But this is where it gets confusing. So in the Championship, League One, and I think League Two, the first two teams get automatically promoted, and then the teams that finish between third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they get entered into playoffs. So third play sixth, fourth play fifth. Those two winners, meet in the final, and then they get promoted. So you get 2 automatic promotions and 1 playoff promotion.
So what happens to the teams in those leagues that get relegated? Like, how many teams get relegated?
3.
Sheesh. Dang, you know how many times the Browns would have got kicked out the NFL?
Oh, yeah. That'd be, AAA by now.
Do you know what, Charlie? I was thinking, we got the moving around the teams and the leagues and different stuff, yeah? I was thinking to mix it up, we should do you get like a championship league and like a lower league. And you have the top 16 teams, the bottom 16 teams, promotion relegations, and kind of see where we think those teams should be. But we can do this another time. Touche 24, let's get it back up.
Yeah, and we'll end on this. Appreciate everybody who made it through the UFC and soccer talk. So yeah, this was last year's Touche 24. It's 2022's Touche 24. How many people of this list would you say is a hit, or just it's not a miss? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, there's absolutely more than half. Absolutely. I mean, Marcus Jones had a great year. Pickens was good. Bell was good. White was okay. Talbot okay. Cam Taylor-Britt started. Robinson looked good. Samare Torre, Charlie. That is a great.
Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Chuck.
Listen. I'm a loser, right? I watched 300 players. I didn't watch a game of his last year, and he was playing for the Packers. I don't know how you found that guy, but that's a good pull right there. Sam Williams had a good year. Gordon started for the Bears. Kenneth Walker, my guy.
Yeah,
man, that's a dog. You've smashed it. That's at least 70%.
I think this is the best year that I had, honestly. And now that I look at it, because Petit Frere was dope. Boye Mafe. Yep. Kyle Phillips, I don't know if he got hurt, but I still think he has time to be a big deal in Tennessee. Kyle Phillips is what we call it? Pigmentation deficit disorder.
Yeah.
So yeah, he lacks melanin, so no one really appreciates him. So I appreciate you, Kyle Phillips, my brother from the lack of melanin. And then you got Abraham Lucas. You have Mario Goodrich. What is Mario Goodrich doing?
I do not know. I could not. That's the one name I don't recognize.
Sean Ryan and Kyer Elam. The Dolphins have to see him twice a year. I thought Jalen Tolbert would do more. I'm gonna be honest with you. They let go of Dallas. Let go of Amari Cooper, and Jalen Tolbert came from a small school in Southern Alabama, and I thought it was a perfect fit. Like you're gonna come in and replace Amari Cooper. You don't have to be the number one. You're gonna be second to what's that receiver over there? What's the receiver? Jared Jeudy? No, not Jared Jeudy. CeeDee Lamb. And for whatever reason, Tolbert didn't take to it. But yeah, man, this is probably my favorite list out of the past 3 years.
So quickly, Goodrich went undrafted, ended up on the Eagles, and I think he finished on their practice squad.
Okay.
One player you didn't get who I'd like to see, Tariq Woolen, my 5th rounder, ended up with 6 picks with the Seahawks. What a draft pick that was.
Did Owen said that on the last episode?
He said there was a player who he thinks could have a similar season to Tariq Woolen, a cornerback.
Cam Taylor-Britt, I was real happy about that. We shot him out on same old Dolphins episode when we were over there. And David Bell will have a breakout season this year. So you have 2 seasons with Deshaun Watson. You have Amari Cooper over there. David Bell's gonna get off this year. And watch somebody in my fantasy football league go after David Bell. Never heard of him until Charlie Touche says it, and then all of a sudden someone's gonna snipe him from me. But it is what it is. I appreciate you, Charlie Wilson, bro.
No, thank you, man. It's always a blast coming on here. This is my favorite time of year as a football fan. The games are fun. I love watching games, but the draft, it's something about like just waiting. You know, when your team gets called, and you're like the Miami Dolphins select, and I love that.
But there's no off season here on Go Time Dolphins. There's football season and waiting for football season.
That's it.
Oopsie.